It's day 3 of drawing everything every day, and today we're going to be drawing a teapot. Okay, I was a little unsure as to whether I should do this horizontal or vertical, but it's almost square, so I'm just going to go with vertical. And a lot of my art is based on, is this a vertical or a horizontal piece? Do I turn the paper sideways or keep it tall? I know it's silly, but I think about those things. I think about, is this a tall piece or a wide piece? So here I am again, dealing with proportions. Every time you're going to draw, you're going to be thinking about proportions. Is this the right proportion compared to the rest of the body? So I'm just kind of feeling it out. I'm just trying to work this out. Like right here, that part on the left is not right. That is way too close. So I'm going to have to make that a little bit closer here like that, because it's going to kind of go out. It's smaller on the top and wider on the bottom. And that's why you're going to always draw lightly when you're first starting out. Draw as light as you can until you figure out your proportions, because you're going to make mistakes. I mean, there's about 12 mistakes already on this, and you can see me just adjusting and adjusting and adjusting. And once you're happy with it, then you could go and you can start adding darker lines. I think teapots are really interesting to draw. I love the shapes. There's lots of curves. It is a lot of fun to draw, but with everything, you're constantly having to make sure that the parts line up. And that's just all I'm doing right here, is I'm just going, is the top part small enough? Is the bottom part big enough? Am I drawing in the center right here? All of that stuff. But again, remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. No one's going to look at it and say, this is not perfect. Will they look at it and say, this is a teapot? And if the answer is yes, then you did your job. That's all you have to do. Is it has to just make past that test. Does it look like what I was trying to draw? Okay, hold on. Here comes the pencil sharpener. And more. Okay. If it's a stick person and they go, is that a person? You go, yes. Great. My job is done. The rest of it's just icing. So don't worry about whether it's perfect or not. It's not supposed to be perfect. Art is interpretation. Art is impression. Art is not supposed to be a photo. We have cameras for that. We have our phones can do that. Art is supposed to be a part of you. It's supposed to be how you see the world. So let your art have its mistakes. Let it have its wonkiness. That's what makes it art. And that's what we're doing here. Hopefully. Kind of. I mean, it's art. Yeah, it's art. So looking back on this, I guess what I should have done was draw a sphere, which is kind of the main body of it, and then do the little smaller part towards the top and then the spout. But when you've been drawing as long as I have, you just kind of just go right for it. And sometimes I forget that we're doing this together and you all might be beginners at this. So my apologies. And if you want me to go back and redo it with the little sphere, I will. But right now I'm just like, I already drew this and now I'm recording the voice. So I'm not going to go back and do that right now, unless you guys all ask me to. I guess now I'm shading this in, and I'm going to start off very, very light. I'm going to just find the darkest spots and kind of go at it about maybe 55%. I'm not really going really, really hard at it. And right here, I am going to go a little harder for the shadow that's on the table. And sometimes I draw the shadow on the table and sometimes I don't. It just depends on the mood or the aesthetic of it. But this is going to be white, and so I am going to use a white pencil later on. So I'm leaving room for that whiteness to come in later. And I guess kind of like what I do with my watercolors is I am kind of working light to dark. The lightness when I'm just drawing is so I can just get the proportions right. But now that I've got that, I'm starting to find the shadows. I'm starting to look for the contrast. And so, and also, if you guys are noticing that this teapot has like ridges, it's got undulations to it, and so I'm trying to find that as well. I'm trying to follow that shape, and I know when I was younger, I would look at a photo and I would copy exactly what I see, regardless of whether it made sense or not. And I think that was just immature. Now I go, well, I know what I'm seeing says this, but I think it'll look better if I do that. And so lots of times I don't draw exactly what I see. I'll say, no, this is more how the form should look, because people aren't going to see the photo. They're not going to compare it to a photo. They're just seeing your art. So if your art doesn't make sense, regardless of whether that's what the photo looked like, art's just not good. Now, before I go on, there's going to be another pencil sharpener. Here we go. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled program. So don't rely on the photo 100%. Just focus on the shapes. Focus on the three-dimensionality. Focus on what you know that is going to be. And you don't have to do every little detail either. You can edit out things that are unimportant. Remember, you're a storyteller as an artist. So if something doesn't look good, you don't have to put it in there. That's your choice. It's your art. Okay, I'm going to have to start drawing faster because these videos are somehow getting longer, and that means that I have to fill up now 12 minutes worth of content. So I'm going to, I either that or I'm going to have to start reading from a book or something like that. I've only got so much information in me, people. But I think it's good for you to see me draw in real time. I know you guys watch me paint live, but you very rarely see me draw. And I think the drawing process is very boring. But it's even more boring when I'm talking over it. But I think it's good for you to follow along and see. I'm not super speedy. I don't think 12 minutes is like a super fast time. I'm not going for a record or anything like that. But these are I do these little doodles everywhere we go. When we used to go and sit and have lunch or something like that, I would just sit and doodle the coffee pot or the glass of sweet tea or whatever food I'm eating, and I think that's the whole point of this, is to just get used to drawing just random mundane things, because it gets you to start seeing shapes and everything and breaking things down. So it's real easy to get lost in your own characters and one thing that you like to draw. So I don't have an affinity for drawing teapots. I just don't. I don't enjoy it or anything like that. But here's where I'm realizing that I drew the spout totally wrong. It kind of goes out that way instead of up. So I'm just erasing this sucker. I'm at this point, I'm just done. I'm like, you know what? We're fixing this. And again, it's wonky. It's imperfect. It's not right. But I've already got the eraser out, so I might as well fix a little more of this over here. That was my original mess up. But it is what it is. We just get used to it. Oh, pencil sharpener. Time for the white. Okay, so I am gonna just start finding the whitest parts of this. It's not gonna be perfect. I know I've been saying that a lot, but I guess what I'm saying is I'm not trying to blend the dark purple Prismacolor with the white. I'm just finding something to kind of give it. These are the highlights, and then this is a little bit of white lightly put in, just to kind of give it a coldness, give it to take it away from the warmth of the tan paper. And these things always break. I lose so many colored pencils from. They're just, the white especially is so soft. It's annoying. That's the one thing I wish we could fix with Prismacolor pencils. But I really like the white on a tan paper. It is just, it's an aesthetic. It's a thing that I really kind of like. So I'm just gonna sit here and cool it down a little bit with the white. Oh, another thing I didn't point out, I guess, yet was, you notice I haven't drawn any of the floral design on it, because right now I want to draw a teapot. I want to get it exactly the way I need it. And I think we're at that point now. So, pencil sharpener. Okay, so now I'm just gonna lightly draw on top of my teapot as if it was a three-dimensional object, just little tiny flowers. I'm not trying to copy it exactly. I'm not trying to make the perfect flower. You can if you like. The flowers to me are unimportant to the teapot. In other words, that's not the main focus. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I just want it to be something that you kind of pick up on when you see it. So I'm just kind of doing just the generic shapes that I'm seeing as I kind of look at it really quickly. Oh, there's a little flower here, a little thing here, and that is it. And then I think I'll go in and I might shade in a couple of them just to have that darkness and lightness in some of them, like this top one right here. And that's kind of it. I think this is a good little sketch of a teapot. And now I'm going to do the thing that I always do, which is I'm going to just define the outline, which is just a quirk of mine. I think it's just a very designy kind of thing to say. I like to find the negative space. I like to define my shapes. A lot of brilliant artists do the exact opposite. They let their shapes, the edges kind of blend into the background. And I am not a brilliant artist, and I'm not one of them. I like my shapes, or at least my edges. I think I like the designy stuff. So anyways, I'm doing that. And one thing I forgot to do was add a little bit of remember the bounced light? There's a little bit of bounced light under here. So you're gonna see a little bit of that here. Yeah, that's good enough. I think I'm done. Oh, nope, I forgot. I decided I wanted to find the background shapes a little more. So I went in with the white colored pencil to just make sure that everybody knew that the shape of this teapot was not a part of the background, because I am weird like that. So here I am filling in the background with white, because I'm never gonna have this video done, and I'm just gonna sit here. Oh wait, I think I am. Yes, I'm finally done. 13.5 minutes. Wow. Okay, so that was a teapot, and I was as boring as ever, but I hope you had a good time drawing a teapot, and I have been trying to see all of the ones that you're sending me, so please keep sending me your art, and I hope you had fun.